What's up, tater tits? Welcome back to the Tim Weichselbaum Show. This is episode 17. What's up, fellow one percenters? I'm back after a little break of doing this. I was busy anesthetizing myself. I struggle a lot with self-hatred because I'm a Jew with post-Holocaustal blood. Post-Holocaustal, baby. That's right. I grew up on the coast. The Holocaust in terms of DNA, my genetics. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, most people probably don't know what the hell that means. It means I'm part of the population of people alive today who descended from people who died in the Holocaust, or almost died, who survived the Holocaust. Somebody had to survive it, or else how would I be here? Somebody had to survive the Holocaust to pass on their genetics to me, which is what happened. Hitler did not complete the final solution, if you guys didn't know this. Newsflash, just to keep you up to date on World War II. If you haven't been following up on that, it's over. So they say. What if there's a conspiracy theory that the World War II just never ended? I don't know. You don't really hear that too often. It's over. That's like an undisputed fact. World War II, definitely over. And who won? Not Hitler. That's why I'm alive. If Hitler had his way with me, I would have never been conceived to begin with. So I'm definitely not what he was looking for, like in terms of the gene pool. I don't have the attributes that he that he thought was like superior. Like I don't have the blonde hair, blue eyes, Aryan blood. I think I look okay. Like I look at myself in the mirror after waking up and I go, yeah, I'm not that bad looking considering my mental state. Like when I just waste a day just being a lethargic piece of garbage. I look in the mirror, I go, I don't look bad. I don't look that bad. I just feel empty. And like people still tell me I look like I'm in my 20s, dude. Late 20s, but still, that's better than nothing. Like I was at this comedy show last week and there were some Zoomers that were hanging out in the back, and they were talking to me, and they were fun to talk to. And I asked them how old. They said, "How old am I?" I said, "How old do I look?" And they said, like 28 or something like that. I was like, "That's not bad, thank you," because I'm 32. They looked exactly how old they were. I look younger than I am. I got along with them though very well, and they were drunk. I was sober, but I was at this comedy show, and the guy running the show multiple times told me to stop talking. Can you please like go outside if you're gonna talk? And I did. I get because like it's rude to like talk during a comedy show, but for some reason I didn't feel bad doing it. I was like, yeah, who cares? I'm not fucking up the show. The show would have sucked just as much if I was being quiet and respectful. So fuck you. And then I did the open mic afterwards. I bombed. I guess it's just what I do now. I just don't even. I guess I just don't ever do well at comedy, at stand-up, which I'm still kind of trying to do. But the ability to be funny, it's gone. It's over with. I'm no longer really that person who has that ability. I have too many possessions to be funny. I have too much to lose to just go up there and entertain people. Like right now, I'm not being entertained. I'm not doing anything funny. When you have things to lose, life becomes serious. That's when things feel like solid and you don't want to die because it's like, well, I have shit. I don't want to just die and just have my shit go to someone else. So the point is I'm alive. Because Hitler sucked at his job. I'm from Poland. My grandpa that I emanated, that I gave birth to my dad. He didn't give birth to my dad. He doesn't have a, yeah, his dad, you know what I mean. He fathered my dad, and my dad how do you phrase it? He had me. He didn't fucking give birth to me, but he had a child, and I'm that child who got genetic imprinting from the Holocaust survivor. My grandpa, he went through the fucking Holocaust like as a kid. He was like 16, I think, when he got released from Auschwitz. Let's do the math. Okay, he was born in 1927, so 1945 minus 1927. He was about 18 about 18 when he got freed from Auschwitz, and but he had to go through the trauma. Who the fuck knows what that was like? That was probably pretty bad. He talked about it, but I didn't really like understand. I didn't really grill him on like how, like what it was like to be in the Holocaust. But he talked about it a lot as an adult, because he had his whole life. He died when he was 90, so he lived a full life. The Hitler shit didn't really fuck him up that bad. I mean, in terms of what happened to him, being a slave and being a victim of a genocide, a direct victim, not even like, oh, it happened to my great-great-grand. No, he was a fucking direct victim of a genocide. And he seemed cool about it, though. Like, every time I hung out with the dude, he was chipper as fuck, dude. So, like, that just goes to show, if you're a direct victim of a racist, fascist regime, it's not the end of the world. You might actually get out of it and live a good life, which he did. He lived in Germany after the war. How fucking big of a balls do you have to fucking be walking around with to live in the country that tried to genocide you? He lived in Germany, I think, and then he moved to the United States. He emigrated here in the 50s or some shit. I don't know, late 40s, early 50s. And then he started a fucking business like a badass and was successful for the rest of his life. He got married. He lived in Skokie, Illinois, the most Jewish place in the world. That's where all the Holocaust survivors moved. So he was around, his own people, which I can't blame him for, because you kind of feel like a kindred spirit when you go through a Holocaust, and you kind of probably want to be around other survivors. He married a survivor. Anyway, the point is, this dude was a bad motherfucker. And then he gave birth to my dad. I'm going to keep saying that. I don't give a fuck if that's not what he did. I know he didn't give birth. But he fucking had kids. Just one. My dad's an only child, so I guess just one was enough for some reason. I feel like he could have had more. But he had the one kid, and then my dad had multiple kids, had 4. 3 of them were on purpose. I feel bad for the one that was not on purpose. I feel like that hurts your fucking ego, or like it's hard to be an accident and still make something of your, like, feel that you're supposed to be here. It's like, well, my parents didn't really plan on me existing, yet here I am at their fucking, it's their responsibility to take care of, like, I'm just a fucking weight on their shoulders. I would probably not want to, like, live with them as an adult, especially considering they didn't even want me to exist. Anyway, I don't live with I was planned out, dude. I was planned as as a second born to go along with the firstborn, like, because they needed somebody to play with the first kid, so they made me as like a child, as like a, someone to play with the fucking kid that they had. So I was that. I was born a long time back in the 80s, late 80s. I was born in 1989. I don't remember anything about the 80s, and so I'm a 90s kid. Bottom line is, what I'm trying to get towards is genetic imprinting. I have that scared Jew blood in me, but that tough Jew blood, that survivor blood, dude. I got my genetics from somebody who survived the Holocaust because they worked their ass off. He saw the fucking gate. Literally, there's a gate in Auschwitz that says, work will set you free. It says it in German. It says, work will set your ass free. So he was like, okay, I guess I'm going to work. And he survived. He probably would have gotten killed for sure if he didn't work as hard, or if they fucking won. If the fucking Germans just won the war, there's no way he would have survived. But the fucking hard work was what saved him to get to that point. If it didn't fucking work. So I have that blood of somebody who fucking stood in the eyes of Nazis and said, well, if that's my only choice is to work or starve to death or be killed, yeah, I guess I'm going to fucking work, bitch. Malicious compliance. So I got that blood in me, so I have grit from my genetics. So what am I doing with that? What am I doing with my life as somebody with that genetic background? Nothing. I'm just surviving. I'm just living through an easy turn of events. Just the easiest fucking time to be alive, dude. The 20s. The 2020s, dude, without any like market. There's no like stock crash. There's no recession. And I have no fucking excuse to be a loser. I mean, of course, there's many ways to define what it means to be a loser. And I'm just talking like financials. Financially, I'm not a loser. Socially, yeah, I'm pretty much like below homeless people. Like, socially, I'm bad at surviving. Like homeless people at least have to learn how to talk to people. Homeless people have to talk to people almost every day of their lives. To at least, I imagine they have to talk to somebody. Like if they want food, they got to go to a shelter. Like they got to go, hey, can I get some food? I imagine they got to say something, dude. It's not a lot of introverted homeless people. That's what's stopping me from being homeless, is my fear of talking to people, of having to go like, hey, man, sorry, I know you're busy, but you got some spare shit? I don't like fucking putting myself out there in the world and be like, hey, I know that you got your own thing going, but what about, can you please share some love for me? I'm struggling. I don't like to admit that I'm struggling, and I'm an introvert. I'm an extreme introvert. I could go fucking weeks without talking to somebody, and I feel fine. I'm not going to live as long as extroverts, for sure. I'm definitely like shaving years off the end of my life by not talking to people, and I'm not gaining anything. I'm just simply preserving my body and my wallet. I've not been spending that much money because I'm kind of, it's weird how last year I spent so much money on the dumbest fucking things. And the year before, same thing. Like in 2020, I bought like all these dumb like what do you call it? Like relics, like like stuff that I thought would be a good thing to invest in, but it's physical. I bought like physical stuff, like vintage guitars, which I'm afraid to play because they'll just get broken, and then they won't be worth as much. Stuff like that. And you can't sell it as an NFT, so what's the fucking point? It's just cold. It's cold physical assets that it's not liquid. NFTs are more liquid. All right. This has become a financial podcast. That's all I give a fuck about, and it's the least funny thing you could talk about is finances. But that's what I'm passionate about. That's what I'm doing with my Holocaust post-Jew blood. My post-Holocaustal Jew blood. You could do what you want with yours. I'm doing that. What I'm doing with my Jew blood is the same as what every Jew did before me. Collect money. Hoard gold. And never even think about sharing it with anybody else. Except for my own fucking family that I don't have. I would have a family of... See, that's the thing. They'd be privileged assholes if I had a kid. If I had a kid, I would just feel gluttonous, like by passing along my privilege down to the new kid in town. They would not be any better than me. They would be worse than me. They'd have even more privilege than me. Because I wouldn't be disciplined. I wouldn't teach the kid discipline. I don't have discipline, so how the fuck would I teach it? How do you give someone discipline if you don't have it to begin with, dude? So I'd be a terrible parent, and that's good to know. It's good to know that I should not have kids. And what's the point of just kicking the can down? Okay, here's the next offspring to continue the chain of nothingness. Just somebody who's just going to sit around all day, fucking consume, just trade, just move commodities around, just fucking, what's the point? I've just become afraid of living life. I just want to sit around and just be safe. I just want security and stability right now. That's all I crave. In my 20s, I was a maniac, chaos lover, chasing the chaos. But that gets old. Then I fucking realized, you know what? I want to live on a farm. I want to live in isolation and just be safe from chaos. And by chaos, I mean criminals. I don't have what it takes to make it in comedy. Of course, I knew this a while ago, but now I'm really coming to terms with wow, I do not have the gall to be an artist, to be a creative person. It takes grit, which is, I don't have that. This hustle mentality that's becoming very trendy. It's becoming trendy to be a hustler, and it's exhausting, man. I get it. I'm all for hustle culture and trying to make ends meet and do work smart, not hard, all that bullshit. But you gotta learn how to enjoy yourself. You gotta take a break. Moderation, everything in moderation, including moderation. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about, dude. The point is, I started running a tech company a couple years ago. It wasn't really a company. It just started as an app. I made an app. It was immediately a success, and then it turned into this more stable, long-term project, which has a company around it. And it's that's way more fun than being a fucking artist. Somebody who's just I'm going to go and tell my story. I'm going to go travel the country to be a comedian and get paid nothing and hope I, raise the needle a little bit, move the needle in life by going on stage and telling jokes to people. That is the most futile return on investment compared to running a tech company alone as a sole proprietor, being in charge of the whole fucking machinery behind it, being in charge of it, being the CEO of a successful company versus signing up at an open mic and waiting 2 hours to tell jokes for 4 minutes and get lit early because the host doesn't like you, and then you just resent everything about it, and you go home with well, that was a waste of time. So that was those two things, not even comparable. Dude, of course I would rather run a tech company. So that's what I've been doing. And I'm no longer really doing that because I decided that even running a tech company is boring compared to what I'd rather be doing, which is just being an investor. I always want to upgrade my position in life. I don't want to just keep doing the same thing over and over, like just stay at the same level. That does not inspire creativity. It might actually, because you want to figure out how to get out of that pattern, but to stay in the pattern is not creative. There's no incentive to just staying where you are. It's like, oh, if I play my cards right, I'll get to stay an open micer for another 3 years. I'll just maintain the same level of failure if I work it hard. It's like, what? I'd rather be a failure. I'd rather completely fail than just be teetering on quitting, or just like this half-ass, like, yeah, I'm just going to go to this open mic because it's what I do out of habit from doing it for 10 years. It's like, well, I've been doing it for 10 years, so I'm going to keep doing it because that's what I do, but I'm not going to try. I'm not going to actually like work on it and prepare material. Fuck that. No, I'm just doing it out of habit. Well, we might as well not do it then, because there's people who want it more than you, and you're going to feel like a piece of shit by not working on it. You're going to feel like, well, what am I doing? Why am I showing up to these things if I'm not even taking it seriously? So I'm struggling with that realization. It's like, well, I should not be doing that with my life. I should pick something that's worth my time, that I'm actually going to like work hard to do, like to actually like move up. So I'm at a crossroads right now because I'm not doing the tech company anymore. I tried selling it to Mark Cuban. He was like, I don't want anything to do with this. If there's anything questionable about it, then I don't want nothing to do with it. I was like, Mark, it's fine, dog. I got an algorithm. Everything sketchy floats to the top and I remove it from the platform. I know what I'm doing, bitch. Give me $250,000. He didn't respond. He didn't give a fuck. But then like a week ago, this news article came out about how he's promoting scams. So he already is fucking promoting something questionable. So you should have worked with me, Mark. I would have made you another $0.1 million or some shit. I was going to say $0.1 billion. $0.1 million he wouldn't even give a fuck about. Why does he even give a fuck about money at all at this point? Like, if you're a multi-billionaire, like, just live off interest. Why do you give a fuck about new business venture? Why are you responding to somebody like me? He did. He responded to me. I sent him an email. This is true. And he was like, well, send me more info. He didn't say it was even that interested. He wasn't that interested. It was cool that he responded, but like, why? If you're a fucking billionaire and you just invest your money in a safe, high yield interest account for like, something that pays very, very secure interest, that's like a low risk investment, you would make millions in 1 year. You don't fucking, what's your fucking expense every year? How much expenses do you have as a person, as an individual, that you need? I don't know. What's your burn rate? With crypto, you could make 20% APY, annual percentage yield every year, just doing nothing, and it compounds. 20%. So if you invest $1 billion, it's $200 million a year. So I don't know what the fuck what his problem is. He must be just addicted to making money. She is, dude. It's fucking awesome, dude. I'm addicted to compound interest, dude. Like fuck anything else in life that you think might be addictive. Like heroin, that's pretty addictive. How about compound interest, dude? How about hedging against inflation? Now that is exciting, edgy shit, dude. That gets my heart rate pumped. That gets my dick hard. Thinking about hedging against an economic downturn, sign me up. That's what gets my juices flowing. That's what gets me hard. I already said that. I feel bad for Jews who haven't reached their full potential. Like every Jew has some potential. I don't care how dumb you are. If you're a Jew, you probably can run something. You could probably be the head of some fucking business or some niche business model that you just haven't figured out. It's always there. And if you haven't done it yet, you're a sleeper Jew. Have you seen these fucking Jews? These Jews that are clearly smarts, but they work like menial jobs, like they work at like a food truck or something. It's like, wait, what? You're a cashier in a food truck, but you're full Jew. So what's going on? Don't you feel ashamed of yourself? Like, aren't your family members like judging? Aren't they asking you questions every time you see them? Don't you see that other Jews have like a shitload of money and you don't? Don't you feel like there's some disproportionate power dynamic going on there, dude? How do you want to be that below how do you not feel that below average? Like, I get it. Like, if you're some other fucking if you're from like a different background and your community on average is making like $40K, then it's easier to blend in if you're only making $40K. $40K is not even that bad as a salary, depending on where you live. Like $40K, that's enough for one person. It's more than enough. But anyway, Jews have to get their shit together. Like, I'm only half Jewish and I got just all the fucking same baggage as, I can't even imagine being a full Jewy, being a full Jewster. I'm only half Jewish and I want to run a bank. I don't get it. Why do I have that gene? Why do I have the bank running gene and that other Jews have, and I'm only half Jewish? And I know full Jews that are working in food trucks. Dude, I know a full Jew who works as a barback. I know that's he has money besides that he makes from that job. Like, he inherited money from his fucking Jew relatives, of course, because that's how it fucking works. But he doesn't have any desire to make millions and millions of dollars running a bank. And I don't fucking get that. How do you not want to do that? There's nothing more satisfying than accumulating money by holding other people's money. There's nothing that tops that. Using other people's money to make money for myself. Are you kidding me? Do I not want to run a hedge fund? Let me think. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I do want to run a fucking hedge fund. How do you relate to people that don't want to do that? It's like, no, I'll just work a job for the rest of my life. I don't know. I don't have any contingency plan for if the economy tanks. Inflation? What's that? Like, fucking, are you retarded, dude? Like, this same Jew that I'm talking about, I almost want to just say who it is because who cares? It's not like he would even give a fuck. Like, it's just good advice. It's just something I would say to his face. Like, dude, you're not worried about inflation? He's like, I didn't notice the inflation. I was like, do you never go grocery shopping, dude? It's cheap. Look how expensive nuts are, dude. Fucking bag of nuts, $10, dude. Fucking you don't notice inflation? He's like, well, no. Like, all my stocks went up actually since Biden got elected. Like, that's stocks. Stocks are already a fucking, you don't know what inflation is? Stocks are already a hedge against, you're already a hedge against inflation. That's why you don't notice, you fucking dumbass. It's because the relative that you inherited the stocks from did a good job they got advised by a even bigger Jew to fucking invest in stocks. That's why you don't notice inflation, you dumbass. I'm getting redundant here. But fucking, how do people just go through life without worrying about financial security? I don't get it, dude. What is life about if it's not accounting for, if it's not, how do people not know anything about bookkeeping? It's like you've never heard of double entry accounting. You don't know how to you don't know how to record a journal entry. You don't know what, what's the word I'm looking for? Deprecate. You don't know what depreciation is? You don't realize that if you buy a fucking asset for your business and it goes down in value, that you could use that to offset your capital gains taxes? You didn't know that? Well, then what's the fucking point of life? If you didn't know that you could save money on taxes from depreciation of value on your assets, what are you even doing? What are you even holding assets for? You shouldn't have responsibility. You shouldn't even own anything if you don't know that. If you don't know about depreciation or depreciation, then suck a dick. How about that? See, that was a little bit over the top, but that's just how I feel about this situation here. Because I'm a fucking millennial. Not the kind that just goes through, not the kind that just lives off the teat of their fucking parents, dude. There's nothing fucking gross feeling. There's nothing more gluttonous than feeling like you're living off the teat of somebody else. Even like paying for power feels fucking spoiled. Even just paying for water. It's like, oh, you can't get your own water? You can't catch the rain and boil and like do whatever you gotta do. Rainwater is not even that hard to fucking sanitize. Or what? You can't dig your own well? You don't have a well in your backyard, you fucking pussy? Electricity, you have to buy it from somebody else. You can't just harvest it from the sun, you coward. I don't know. It's not like I could just, either way, you got to pay somebody to set up the solar panels, and that's just as lazy as buying you might as well. That would be cool to have solar panels for when the power goes out, like from a bad winter storm. But then people would see my solar panels and they'd see that I have lighting, and they would just think, "Oh, look at that asshole! Oh, isn't it nice that you have power?" And then I would feel guilty, but not really. Fuck them, dude. Get your own fucking. Get your own. Even if I did get like solar panels, I think it would cost like $60,000. And there's no fucking way I would make the investment back. There's no way I'm going to live here for long enough to save $60,000 on fucking electricity. I'm not spending $60,000 on power for the next 20 years. There's no fucking way. I spend about $100 a month on average. So let's do the math. Let's say I lived here for 20 years. Okay. 20 times 12 times 100 would be $24,000. That's if I lived here for 20 years. So, yeah, there's no fucking way I'm saving money if I get solar panels. It's just not worth the investment, And by the time I got my money's worth, there'd be a new technology that's way better than solar panels. We'll fucking figure out something that defies like the laws of thermodynamics by then. Like, fuck the universe, dude. If everything's a simulation, fuck the laws of thermodynamics. We'll just change them. We'll just change the fucking fabric of reality by like fucking. Who the fuck gives a fuck about solar panels, dude? Yeah, but the point is, like, that feeling of gluttony, it really is a sin. Like in the Bible, that's one of the cardinal sins is like gluttony. And look at me, dude. I'm fucking not fat at all, but I do feel gluttonous sometimes, like when I just order fucking tacos at 7 a.m. because I stayed up the whole fucking night and I have a fucking craving for tacos and I just get some person to deliver them to me. That feels kind of fucking gluttonous, but it's also pretty nice. I can't lie. It's fucking nice, dude. Living a life of excess. It's like, yeah, on one hand, I feel gross having somebody just do my dirty deed of getting tacos to satisfy my hunger in such a lazy way. Like, I could drive to get them myself if I wanted to. I got a fucking vehicle that could easily get me there. Do I do that though? Fucking no, dude. Last time I went grocery shopping on my own was months ago. All it takes is a couple extra bucks and I get somebody to deliver it right to my door. Yeah, I'm probably going to do that like 100% of the time, dude. I only drive for pleasure these days or to go to open mics. I don't really have a reason to go out and drive. So I don't very often. So I spent a lot of money on vehicles last year, but hey, I guess I could afford it. I don't know. I don't really know what my financial situation is yet because I'm still in the process of like, getting out of, closing down my company. And the money belongs to the company. It doesn't belong to me, but I own the company, so it kind of does, too, at the same time. It's like, well, I have my personal finances, and then the company has its finances, so I have to separate them. But if I wanted to at any fucking day, I could just take money from the company and buy a fucking house if I wanted to. So it's a good position to be in. It's hard to complain. It's hard to, when you have that position. But I worked on it, and I'm here to give you tips on how to do it yourself. Not tips. Fuck tips, dude. I'll give you a fucking framework. I don't know. Not a framework. Because I don't really have the keys to... I don't have, like, a, step-by-step framework for how to get successful. I just know what worked for me, which was to try many, many, many times over the course of 20 years to start a fucking successful website. It took about 20 years to actually do something that was successful. So I don't really have a framework. I just have that grit of like, well, hey, work hard and do something. Use your skills that are given to you at birth and make the best of it. I don't know, man. That's all I got. I would like to, I don't know, like there's all these YouTube fucking life coaches that like, hey man, here's my 10 tips for how to become a millionaire. And they're just trying to make money off of their own, of telling people how to do it. But it sounds like a scam. It's like, what's in it for you? You're just going to tell me how to become a millionaire? Why don't you just do that then? If you know how to become a millionaire. It's like, well, if you got the information that everyone wants so bad, keep it for yourself. We're just going to give it away? It's so fishy. Like, there's all these like fucking investors, like these, especially in the crypto world. It's like, I'll teach you how to double your money in 2 days. Like, no, you won't. No, you fucking won't. There's no such thing as that. It's possible. It is possible. The market has been doing interesting, like it always goes up and down. And you got to have a plan regardless of what the market's going to do. You can never have a plan that just hinges on the market being predictable. You can't just be like, okay, the market better do this or else I'm fucked. No, you got to have a plan regardless. If the market tanks or if it surges, you got to have you got to be prepared for that. Shouldn't ever try to predict the markets. That's something I've learned, and it's humbling. Like it's something that's a pretty, I mean, there's a lot of room. There's a lot of room for discussion on that. Like, the markets are something you could chase your whole life and you'll never understand them, but you can learn things about it. I mean, it depends on the market you're talking about. Every market's different, but there's patterns. And as much as you think you know the patterns and you could predict the markets, you can't. But also, there's many ways that you can, depending on the market. So there's room for debate. It's like it just depends on the market, depends on the situation, depends on your strategy. But my thing is for crypto is you can't just put all your money in one coin and be like, okay, that's my retirement plan. I put all my money in Cardano. Now when do I retire? Well, it's not that simple, but also it is that simple. Fucking in 2017, I told my parents, this is when I was like more arrogant. I was like, hey, if you want to be retired in like 5 years, just put a bunch of money in Bitcoin or crypto, like Ethereum. And I was right. If they had done that in 2017, yeah, they would have doubled, tripled, quadrupled their fucking investment. But I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. I just had a hunch. It's like, yeah, dude, this is not going anywhere. This is a cyclical thing. This is only going to go up in value. And with Bitcoin, yeah, that is the truth of the fucking matter. If you put money in Bitcoin, it's probably going to only go up. But how much should you put in? $100? Okay, that's a big deal. What is that going to do? Your whole fucking life savings? I don't know about that. I don't think so. I would not advise to put your whole life savings into Bitcoin, dude. Maybe 40% is a good at the most. 40% of your net worth in Bitcoin, that's a lot. But it's not so much that you'd feel that bad. But if it goes up in value, like if it doubles, like, oh fuck yeah, I wish I should have put in more. It's like, but you want to hedge against the times that it goes bad, that it goes down. So you want to have it in other stuff too, like non-liquid stuff, like this house that I'm in. This is a non-fucking liquid commodity, like asset. I can't just cash out if I panic. It's like, oh shit, Bitcoin's down, gotta sell my house. It's like, that'll take some time. Can't just do it at the flip of a fucking emotional whim. So that's the reason I did it. That's one of the reasons I bought a fucking house, is to stop myself from buying other stupid stuff, or to let my emotions get in the way of my financial security. So yeah, 40% is probably the most I would want invested in Bitcoin. Like you want cash. You want money that's in liquid cash, so that if the economy tanks in stocks or Bitcoin or even fucking, I don't know, property, if that goes down, then you have cash to invest in when it's down. Like when Bitcoin crashed in 2020, most people didn't have a bunch of money just lying around to invest in Bitcoin. But the ones who did made, I don't know, 10x, 1,000% profit since then. Because it was at they made 1,000 fucking percent profit. So that's why you always gotta have a plan. You always gotta have money in different assets, in different buckets. You want cash. Not too much cash, but you don't want to be cash poor. You see what I'm saying here? You always got to be able to react to the market. I'm pretty consumed in cryptocurrency, stuff like that. I've been full-time into crypto since 2017. I've done very well by making that decision. And so somebody like said, whoever Satoshi is, whether he or she did, and I was like, she? All right, Mr. Inclusive, liberal, fucking politically correct ass. There's no fucking way Bitcoin was invented. There's no way Satoshi Nakamoto was a girl. I don't care how sexist that makes me sound. There's just no fucking way Bitcoin was invented by a woman. That would be fucking amazing for feminism if that was the case. That would do wonders for feminism, for the whole women are just as, equal as men. I was going to say, of course women are good. Of course women are just as good as men. In some ways, they're way better than men. Like, I don't know. Like, how about at giving birth? At giving birth, I'd give it to women. I think they win on that front. Can you imagine if I said, no, men are way better at it. They just haven't gotten a chance. No, women are better at stuff than men. And men, I hate to say it, are better at stuff than women on average. And that's just why it would be insane. It'd be insane if Bitcoin was invented by a woman. It just doesn't happen. That type of stuff just doesn't happen. I would be like, well, there's got to be something wrong with it then. If a woman did it, she's probably fucked up in some way. I would give all my Bitcoin away if Satoshi turns out to be, but I'm not worried about that because that's just definitely not true. Not a lot of female hackers. Like, not a lot of women in cybersecurity. Not a lot of women in tech in general, dude. And if they are in tech, I feel bad for them because they got to be around people like me. They got to be around people like me, dude. Power hungry, number crunching, big old incel energy around. Who the fuck would want to be a woman in tech, dude? Holy shit, dude. They'd be around beta males who just on the sight of a woman, they get all fucking weird and awkward. It's like they get all like robotic. Like, oh, hey, like overly nice and like coming in their pants all the time, dude. And the female brain just isn't really designed to do tech stuff. It's like it's boring to them. They don't give a fuck about like engineering. It's like, when do women get fucking wet when you talk about engineering? It's like, look how efficient that fucking code base. Look, oh man, your code style, your whatever you call it, man. That's hot. No, women don't really get fucking wet when you talk about coding stacks, like technology stacks. It's like, oh man, what software do you, what backend does your code base use to support that many users? It's like, I use LAMP. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? You're a virgin if you talk like that. Not really. I mean, not these days. These days, it's pretty badass, I guess, to be a full stack web developer, which is what I am, because they get paid a shitload of money, dude. I started like, if I had like a job with my years of experience, I could make like so much money right now, dude. Just like working a job. Like, even if I did that, I would make really good money. So for me to do something, I don't know. That's just if I worked like a job. I want to do something way more interesting than that. But I'm thinking about right now. I'm not doing anything interesting. There's nothing in my life going on that's interesting right now. So I'm thinking, hey, maybe I should just get a job, working at like some exciting new tech company, because I gave up on that, on running my own. Like, I already had my own company, dude. I could hire somebody whenever I want. I have payroll. Everything is good to go. But I don't feel like it, dude. Who wants to be a fucking boss of a company? It's like, It sounds good on paper, but when it actually comes down to hiring somebody and then the second they get hired, it's like, oh yeah, can I get time off? Oh yeah, I'm not going to make it in today. It's like, oh man, my boss, he's grinding my ball. He's giving me all this bullshit work. I'm going to start a fucking union. It doesn't sound fun when you actually get into it. It's like, oh, I don't want to be someone's boss. It's like they're just going to be complaining about me. It's like, yeah, my boss, he's okay. He's fucking short and Jewy. He is a dick that I could probably fuck him whenever. I could fuck him whenever I want, but I'm not gonna, because that would create a toxic work environment. It would already be a toxic work environment if I was in charge. So I'm not going to do that. I'm thinking of just joining a new startup in Austin and just being part of the tech scene, just for some fucking structure and for a community, just so I have somewhere to be, just so I have somebody counting on me to it's fucking lame having nobody to count on me. It's like, well, yeah, you're doing fine on your own, but I don't give a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. It's like, so that's what, life becomes meaningless when everything is taken care of. When you have no stress, when you have nothing to worry about bad happening, it's like you have nothing they have to save up for. It's like, okay, what's the point of life? It's boring. I'm just going to sleep all day and eat tacos. It's like, yeah, so I need someone to depend on me. I need to be part of a team because I need purpose in life, dude. I really, just because I became successful doesn't mean I have everything, doesn't mean I'm happy. It's like, okay, next, what do I do next? I need a challenge. I'm becoming more like my parents, dude. They only do something when it can only, what? Why do, oh yeah. I'm becoming more like my parents in the sense that I just want to stay home and be safe. I already talked about this. I just want to live on a farm, isolated from everything and criminals and things that I'm afraid of, and just not take risks. My desire to take risks right now are very low. And that's what my parents do. My 20s, I was a chaos agent. Now I just want to kind of just relax and be healthy and see how long I can live. Because I don't know. I don't like destroying myself. I don't like. Somebody said I should get a whore. And they said this before. This is not the first time they told me. It's like I pretty much every time I see this guy, he's like, "Why don't you get whores?" Because I talk about how it'd be nice to get laid, because we catch up. It's like, so how you been? Oh, I've been fine. It's like, you gotten pussy? It's like, nah, I haven't gotten pussy. And he goes, well, you should just get a fucking whore. And I go, yeah, but I don't really want to do that. It's like, what if I put you in touch with a whore? Would you use it? Would you use them? I go, no, I don't fucking want a whore. I because it just feels like a waste of money, dude. It feels gluttonous. It's like, oh, I'm going to spend $1,000 just to fucking feel good about, just to have sex, just for my own bodily pleasure. I'm going to spend hundreds of dollars for one little fucking night of pleasure. My bank account, I can't justify that as a frugal Jew. I just can't justify that. And what if I like it? What if I get addicted to it? Then I'm spending thousands of dollars a month on it. Maybe that's worth it, though. Maybe that's worth it, dude, because the body doesn't care who's paying for it. The body just wants to get laid, dude. It doesn't care how much money's being spent or where the fucking pussy came from. It's like, okay, did I work on getting this from texting somebody for 4 months by being a fucking simp and paying for dinner date and pretending to like the person's personality? pretending that they're like all that bullshit? Or did I just spend money? Did I just fucking, is it just a transaction? My body could give a it doesn't care. It just wants the fucking hormones. It just wants the dopamine release. So I have nothing against sex work. Like, I really have nothing against it. It's just I'm just frugal. But the thing is, like, as much as I'm pro sex work, I don't want my fucking daughter to be a sex worker. It's a catch-22. It's like, we need whores. I need whores in the I want there to be more of them, if anything, in society. But I don't want to make them. I don't want to make any new whores, dude. No one's like, oh, I gotta have some daughters to help lonely men get pussy. But that is the reason. That is like pretty much the biggest reason that you have a daughter. It's to provide a man with a wife. It's to give a man an oven to cook up their babies. To continue to the cycle of humanity, we need daughters to get pregnant. That's different than just being a whore, obviously, but still, that's the best case scenario, is that your daughter has sex and gets pregnant in a marriage, the most prestigious way that's not frowned upon. That's it. That's the point of having a daughter, is for them to have kids. Like, what else are they going to do? Create the next Bitcoin? No, women don't do that. So that's just how the world is, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to have a daughter just so she can fucking be some man's fucking wife. But that's life, dude. Somebody's got to do it, dude. Like, whenever a hot chick exists, that means that some dude had to fucking be her dad for like at least a little while. Like not really. It doesn't imply that he had to father her, but he is her dad. Even if he plays no role in her life, he still probably doesn't like knowing that she, gets dick inside her a bunch. If she's hot, that's what happens. Like, anytime a chick exists that's attractive, I think of her dad. I go, that is really cool of your dad to let you exist and be hot. Not everybody does. Not every dad does let their daughter just go around being hot. Some of them make them dress up. Some of them make them wear a hijab. So that's what I think whenever I see a hot chick. I go, you know what? Can you tell your dad that that's cool? That's cool of him to let you walk around with your tits out, half out like that. That's fucking progressive of your dad to let you do that. I always apologize. I always tell them, tell your dad thank you for letting me fuck you. He did. He let me fuck you. You let me fuck you. But really, your dad let you be the way you are to let me fuck you. If your dad was more conservative, you would not let me fuck you because you would have different values. So I'm just telling you, tell your dad, let him know that I'm glad that he has loose moralities, that he has loose morals, okay? Because we're not getting married. That's what I could say to everyone I've ever had sex with so far, because I've never gotten married to them. I've never fucking planned on them. Especially the first one. The first person I ever fucked, their dad, definitely would not have been cool with it, dude. He was a cop, dude. I was especially thankful to him when he let me fuck his girl, or his girl, his fucking daughter. I was like, dude, I can't believe you're cool with me dating your daughter. Don't you realize that I'm not the right one for her? I'm not fucking gonna marry her, dude. I'm too good for her to be on. Like, I'm going places, dude. Just because I'm 16 now, with no job. That don't mean I'm always going to be. I'm going to be in my 30s at some point. I'm going to have money. And I'm not going to be anywhere even close to thinking about fucking your fucking daughter when she's in her 30s. Dude, she's going to be fucking... She's going to be a loser. She's probably going to be alone in her 30s. Dude, I'm going to be way better off than her. So I'm just saying right now, you're cool as fuck for letting this happen. He should have been thanking me. He should have been like, yo, dude, I could tell that you have potential. My daughter, she's going to be the same person she's not going anywhere. She's got nothing. You are young, Jewish. You're probably going to be making 6 figures down the road. So can you please stay with her? I know she's like a mess. I know she's not the most like loyal girl. She's not the smartest. She's not the most like talented. I don't know how good she is at sex. Can you please stay with her though? He should have been fucking doing that to me. Now where is she? I haven't looked her up in a while. That would be it's kind of weird to look back at your ex-girlfriend, like see where they are now. What if she was doing better than me? How could that be? How could she be doing better than me? I don't even think she graduated high school, dude. I think she had to get a GED. What the fuck, dude? She had mad daddy issues. Like, she wasn't like that, like white trash. She just happened to be in a divorced family. Her parents were divorced. They were both cops at one point. Like, her mom was a cop, and then she became something else. I think she became a nurse or something. Her dad was chief of police, and they didn't get along. She did not get along with her dad. That's how she met me, because she's that quiet boy. I'm gonna start dating him because he's he'll just take my shit. I don't know. She probably didn't like men very much. That's kind of probably a fair assumption to make. When you don't get along with your dad, it kind of tarnishes your view on men. And she wasn't that great of a girlfriend. But she let me penetrate her, which is a pretty cool thing to let me do to her. So I was like, hey, I look back at it as like a win. It's like, hey, okay, you let me feel pretty good about myself. You let me feel cool as a high schooler. And then I guess it fucked up my self-confidence for a couple. It did kind of fuck me up because of the way that like I became very attached to her. I was like, well, like I was very like committed to her, but not in a healthy way. And then when she decided she was done with me, it definitely like ruined my self-esteem. I don't know why. I guess I felt like, well, if I'm not even good enough for her, I must not be a very worthwhile person. If this person is dumping me, I must be a loser if I can't even fucking stay with her. But that was just because I guess I was a freak. I was a weirdo. Knowing what I know now, I should have, she was not even good enough. She wasn't good enough to be with me. What did she have that was so good? I don't know. Besides tits. I don't know. That's all she had that I was interested in. But anyway, I think that's enough. I don't need to keep talking. Dude, I'm already over an hour. Anyway, it's good to be here. I had more to talk about, but I feel like this is a good point to end, is that it's good to have a self-esteem, but not too much of not arrogance. Like arrogance, it's not attractive. I used to be arrogant, I think. Like before I moved here, back in Chicago, I just was arrogant as fuck, dude. And now I'm learning that I have some flaws in my personality. I'm trying to work out those flaws. So anyway, thanks for listening, and have a good rest of the week.